Hi friends, I just wanted to start this video off by saying Photons are currently in the final rounds to get support via the custom card project that's going on with Konami, and as such I felt compelled to make my first video for this channel with my deck profile. I've been playing Photon Galaxies for ever since the Zexaltans came out. Whenever Galaxy Wizard and Galaxy Expedition came out, I think it was 2012. It had to be 2012. I went to college 2013. It's just been kind of a pride and joy deck for a long time, and I have it all max rarity pretty much. So I felt like it would be not only visually pleasing to look at, I would like to give you some insight into how I play Galaxy Photon, while giving you descript ways in which the deck likes to combo going first with the card choices in here. So let's go ahead and hop into it. We'll set this extra deck aside and we'll jump straight into the main deck. The main deck is 40 cards. It consists of 22 monsters, 15 spells, and 3 traps. You play obviously 3 Galaxy Photon Dragon and 3 Galaxy Knight. I just bumped Galaxy Knight from 2 to 3. I found more often than not, this is the only normal summon in the deck. I actually don't play Galaxy Wizard, you'll see that here in a moment. But Galaxy Knight is the power summon of the deck. It is the normal summon that you want to have go off 99% of the time. The other 1% of the time you have to normal something like Photon Orbital to make sure that your cards go live, like Vanisher or an additional orbital in hand, or something along those lines. But Knight is the power play. It starts, it can help make Isolde, which is a big part of this deck right now, and it can also, obviously it makes your rank 8 plays. But I found that more often than not I was searching it with Galaxy Soldier, and if I had it in hand when I went to go search with Soldier, I would usually just search an additional Galaxy Soldier and make Infinity, which is a far stronger play when you can make a rank 8 alongside Infinity, as opposed to having to search him with Soldier and losing the ability to get an additional level 5 machine to make Nova into Infinity. So I decided to bump him up to 3, considering he is the only normal, so that's 3 normal summons in the deck, outside of, the wacky things that happen. I play 1 Galaxy Brave. A lot of people like to play 2 or 3 of this. That's fine. I just prefer only the 1. This won't get cut when Afterglow comes out. Afterglow fulfills a very similar role in the deck. Whenever Afterglow decides to come out, it'll just extend into additional combos as well as help start things, but it is not a starter for the deck like the deck so desperately needs. With that, also we play 3 Galaxy Soldier. Obviously, this is one of the best cards in the deck. It's kind of unfortunate how splashable this card is outside of the archetype. Makes me a little scared for it if this deck were to ever become relevant at some point. But hopefully with this creat-a-card project, things will change around. But that is 10 Galaxy cards in the Galaxy lineup for the monsters here. Outside for the Photons, we play, of course, 3 Orbital. Sorry to say, you have to play this at 3. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. I choose to play, however, 3 Photon Thrasher. Thrasher, the deck's main problem is that it lacks a reliable starter card. If you notice here, Photon Orbital requires a Photon or a Galaxy monster to equip to. Galaxy Soldier requires a light monster in hand to be able to discard, or send to the grave, to summon itself. Outside of the searchers here, the deck doesn't have a real way to coordinate with them to be able to get them to go off alongside, like, Photon Vanisher here. And I'll just go ahead and plop him. This is the Photon lineup. It is also 10 cards. It's a nice round number to keep ratios even. You can sort of wiggle room around. You can drop a Thrasher and add an additional Galaxy Brave. That's totally fine. I like 3 Thrasher and 1 Brave as your starters, just because he has Photon in the name, and he allows you to go into an XC monster called Starleech Galaxion, which is a warrior for Isolde, and summons Photon Dragon from the deck for free. So that is a huge plus. However, if you go the Galaxy Brave route, you can make your Star Liege Photon Blast Dragon and summon the Photon Dragon from hand that you probably searched with the Vanisher. However, if Vanisher gets Veilered or Impermed or Ashed or anything, because the deck is kind of fragile to hand traps, being able to go into Star Liege Lord Galaxion, I'll go ahead and show it real quick, allows you to continue, allows you to go back and get your Photon Dragon that you weren't able to search in the first place. So it's a way of playing through hand traps, especially since Called by the Grave is hit. Something you'll notice about all these guys, warriors, warrior, and Galaxy Knight is a warrior. That allows you to play another warrior, Infernoble Knight Renaud, however you pronounce his name. This guy is the only hard dead draw of the deck. I hate seeing this guy in my hand, but the power plays you can make, being able to go into his old and send Galaxy Zero from the deck to the grave to summon him, add Zero back, and then do things like make a 3 negate Appaloosa alongside a Infinity and a rank 8, like Hope Harbinger or something like that, or just making an Appaloosa in general alongside a rank 8 or an Infinity is very strong. It's something the deck desperately needs, is a huge extender, or a huge extension play like that out the extra deck. A lot of the extra deck stuff is objective, where you want to get to that one point. So everything in the deck kind of works with everything in the deck to get to the extra deck. Whereas this is one play where you get to the extra deck to get to the main deck. And so that's something I really like about being able to play him. It kind of sucks that he's fire, because he does lock you out of using Photon Sanctuary, which comes up kind of often, but Sanctuary is a non-searchable card. That's a lie. You can search it with Photon Lord, but that's on your opponent's turn, so it's practically useless at that point. Plus you have better searches. Photon Sanctuary is 3 cards out of your deck, and this is something you can get to out of a multitude of different ways into your extra deck. So that's really nice. And then we also play the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, because this card's broken and it needs to be banned. One of my favorite things to do is to make all of my plays and then equip the Dragon Buster to this guy right here. So Star Liege Photon Blast Dragon says that all monsters you control, not just Photon or Galaxy or Light monsters, all monsters you control with 2,000 or more attack cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. That's strong. He himself is only 1,800 attack, but he's a dragon. So if you target him with Union Carrier to equip the Dragon Buster Whelp, or whatever his name is, you can boost him to 2,800 attack. You now have a 2,800 attack monster that can recur your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon on your opponent's turn, cannot be targeted by card effects, cannot be destroyed by card effects, and locks your opponent out the extra deck. That is powerful, and it protects all your other monsters too with that effect. So I wasn't playing it initially because I wanted more spots in the extra deck, and Star Liege is normally what you want to make, but that is too powerful of a play, I realized, to not allow. Like I said, the monsters, 22 monsters, that'll take us on to the spells here. I am playing one Called by the Grave. I originally wanted to cut this card because, you know, how often are you going to draw that one copy, but the deck is like 70% susceptible to Ash Blossom, and that's a heavily played card. So I opted to play it as my 40th card as opposed to something like Upstart Goblin or a Pot of Avarice. So in terms of draw power, the deck is very strong. You notice we play pretty much multiples of everything in the deck. So we play 3 Trade-in and 2 Pot of Desires. You can opt to play 3 Desires. I did for a very long time, but drawing an additional 1 after resolving 1 usually sucked. So 2 means you'll see usually 1. Hopefully you'll banish the other one off of it, but getting that +1 advantage to extend into additional resources is very powerful, and again, something the deck really needs, because outside of, you know, being able to play through maybe one hand trap without the Called by the Grave, you really falter when it comes to hand advantage if you can't get your combos started. If you can get your combos started, if you can make the Isolde and get everything going, then you're in a good place. But if not, then it's nice to be able to rely on a 1-card backup. For search power, I play 1 Rhoda and 3 Photon Sanctuary. Yes, Photon Sanctuary is a Rhoda, don't worry. It'll make sense in a second. Sanctuary, so Rhoda's obvious. You search for any of the warriors that you don't have in hand. So if you have Thrasher, search Vanisher. If you have Vanisher, search Thrasher. Boom, you're good. Or if you have both, you can search the Advancer and not only make your Isolde, but you can go into the Starliege Photon, Starliege Lord Galaxion, summon the Photon Dragon from deck, and then use the Galaxion and the other warrior you have to make Isolde and just pop. So, Photon Sanctuary summons 2 light tokens, level 4, 2000 attack, 0 defense, in defense position. Tokens can be used for synchro summons, but that's okay. You're just going to use it to link summon into either Union Carrier or a Galaxy Eye Soulflare Dragon. What's nice is that you can make it a Union Carrier out of this one card, and you can equip Photon Orbital from your deck to that Union Carrier, as it is both a machine and a light monster, meeting both requirements for its own effect. Orbital then is going to search any monster in the deck. The ability for this card to essentially act as add any one monster from your deck to hand is actually insane, and it's something that if Union Carrier were to ever get banned in the future, which is not unlikely, it'll be a huge hit to this deck. That is a play unique to this archetype that only this archetype can do because of this card and because of Union Carrier and Orbital. Being able to have a 1-card Rhoda for any of the monsters in my deck is very, very, very strong and should not be understated. These are the starter cards outside of Called by the Grave that helps us get our combos started. For extenders, we really only play 5. That is 3 Galaxy Expedition. The reason this deck is good, I mean, there's a few reasons the deck's good, but this is the main reason. This being able to summon your soldier from the deck and get a search and just go +1, or being able to summon a Galaxy Knight from the deck and make Isolde, or being able to, summon an additional soldier from the deck and make Infinity. This acts as your second copy of Galaxy Soldier when you have one on the field. This acts as your rank 8 play. This is the best extender in the deck, and you should never even think about playing less than 3. Please don't. 2 Galaxy Zero. So you can get away with playing 1 if you're not playing Pot of Desires, but because this is essential to the Isolde combo, you want to be playing, and because I'm playing Pot of Desires, I want to be playing 2. You don't really want to open it. You just want to send it, and then you want to search the other one with a the Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, So you send one with Isolde to add back with the Renaud, and then during your opponent's turn, you add the other one to OTK next turn, because this card is actually really dumb. I will show you that in a moment. Outside of the spells, we just play the 3 Imperm. I wanted to play a form of hand trap in this deck, and I was going back and forth between either just playing 3 Imperm or 3 of Dark Ruler No More. Dark Ruler No More is without a doubt the stronger option when you're going second, but this is a deck where you want to go first and establish a presence on the board, and then search your backup cards such as a Photon Sanctuary or a Galaxy Zero. That does it for the main deck. That's 40 cards, 3 traps, 15 spells, 22 monsters. Very round number, very consistent number, and that'll take us to the extra deck. So the extra deck, I play 5 Link monsters. We play 2 Galaxy Eye Soulflare Dragon. If it was possible, I would like to play 3, but because the extra deck is so tight, I have oftentimes even cut this down to 1 to, play test with a bunch of different variants. Because like I said, this is really the only deck I have, and I love to find different ways to play it, such as playing things like Nadir Servants with Dogmaticas, which is pretty strong, but it doesn't do anything to add to the deck. But anyway, I digress. So 2 Soulflare Dragon, 1 Union Carrier, obviously, the Isolde for the combos, and the Appaloosa to go into afterwards. So I've always wanted to be able to find a way to make Appaloosa, and when I found that this was an option, this just is inseparable from the extra deck at this point. This is self-explanatory, this is self-explanatory. This I can get into in a bit, and obviously Appaloosa is Appaloosa. So that'll do it for that. For the Link monsters, for rank 4s, we just play the 2 Starliege Lord Galaxion, as well as the Starliege Photon Blast Dragon. He is a dragon, he is a warrior, he extends into combos, and he is something to end on. Even if you don't equip this with the guy, it's nice to bring him out in defense. He's 2500 defense, and he will protect your other monsters like Infinity from being targeted with Imperm, or your Hope Harbinger, or Photon Dragon, or Soul Flare even from being targeted from things like destruction or whatever, you know. But this is the best extender. It's worth noting this is worth playing just because you can get the Photon Dragon from the deck, and then even if you don't open up something like Galaxy Soldier, you can summon the Photon Dragon from deck and activate Expedition to make that card live. So it's just nice. Speaking of Galaxy Soldier, Nova and Infinity. These are pretty self-explanatory. Must-haves in the extra deck for this archetype. For the rank 8s, we play 3 actually, only 3. 2 starters and then 1 going second. I play the Harbinger and the Photon Lord. These are the unquestionably the best in terms of going first. If you're able to make a combo in which you can go into Appaloosa, it's best to go into Harbinger because you will have a wider breadth of negation, because Appaloosa will be able to get monster negation, and then this will be able to get spells. As well, it's worth noting too, everyone forgets Harbinger's second ability, where he can detach a material and retarget an attack. So if your opponent tries to do something where they get Appaloosa pretty weak and then they try and attack over it, they will oftentimes waste their battle phase because they'll forget that I can just, okay, detach, now you're attacking Harbinger, your monster gets destroyed, you've wasted monster negations, you've wasted a summon and a battle phase. They will usually scoop it up from there. So if you have the option to make this after you make Appaloosa, it's worth going into over this, because monster effect negation over monster effect negation isn't ideal unless it's a certain matchup, and the search that you can get off of him will likely be outweighed by the raw power of being able to have a wider coverage. Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon, on the other hand, is just a big boy. A lot of people underestimate how big this guy can get. By himself, he'll pump up to 5,600 attack. That is big enough to attack over a Red Eyes Dragoon after 2 negates. That is big enough to get over pretty much any monster in the game, let's be honest. So if they have a monster that you can't target or destroy or anything like that, unless it's by battle. Oh, it's also worth noting too that against the Zodiac matchup, when they go into their Link 3, I forget the name, the guy that requires 3 XC monsters to be able to make, and he can't be targeted by card effects or destroyed by card effects or destroyed by battle by monsters other than an XC monster. Well, I got a little surprise for them. 4,000 attack is big, but 5,600 attack is bigger. So, and then to round out the extra deck, we play the Galaxy Eyes Pop Package, the GPP, Giant PP. A lot of people will opt to play just 1 Full Armor and 1 Cyberblade, which is totally fine. In fact, when Afterglow Dragon comes out, I'm probably going to cut one of these so I can play Divine Dragonite Felgrand and continue to do stupid extensions. But for the time being, it's nice to play 2 Cyberblade, and the reason being is because, like I said, Galaxy Zero is a really dumb card, and I'll go ahead and get into that right now. So this is an inboard that you'll often find yourself ending on, Cyber Dragon Infinity, as well as a Photon Lord, and either with or without a Soul Flare. But this is a pretty powerful double negation as well as a disruption. You can destroy a special summon monster, you can negate a monster effect that activates anywhere, and then you have an Infinity with your Omni Negation presence. And what you'll do then is, on your opponent's turn, when you pass, on their draw phase, you'll usually want to search with him on their draw phase. The reason being is because Kaijus, as well as Dark Ruler No More, and other options are out there that will prevent you from being able to get that additional advantage before you even get the opportunity to use him. So it's best to search on your opponent's draw phase with his effect. And the reason being is because you're only going to search one of 2 cards. You'll either, if you already have backup plays for your next turn, search the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, so you have a 1-card discard for your Soul Flare's negation or Soul Flare's pop. Or if you already have that, because you'll usually have multiples, you'll search the Galaxy Zero. And when you search Galaxy Zero, you are telling your opponent, if you do not do something about my board, I will win next turn, and there's nothing you can do about it. Here is why. So, without committing any other resources, you will get your free Galaxy Zero from deck to hand, right? So let's say you negated a monster effect. I'll move these over a little bit so you can get a better view of the graveyard here. That will be important in a moment. So you negated monster effects, you negated a card effect, you destroyed something by discarding whatever, not this. Your turn comes around. Alright, so you draw your additional card, doesn't matter what it is, it goes to your hand. You have 2 cards in hand, the one you searched, one you just drew, and then whatever else you had in hand when you ended your combo. Usually 2, sometimes 1, 2, 3, it depends on what kind of hand you opened up. But what you'll do is, again, without committing to a normal summon or any additional resources, you will go straight into your extra deck, and if they have back row, or if they have monsters, you will go full armor Photon Dragon. Response to the summon? Nope. Then you will go ahead and detach, and depending on what they have, it'll be important to either detach the XC monster, or you can detach whatever you want. But you can detach the Photon Dragon to get that into the grave for a Galaxy Knight normal summon, or let's say they only have 1 face-up card, you detach the XC monster. That'll be important. Now you've destroyed 1 card, you can go straight back to your extra deck, overlay Cypher Blade Dragon. So if they have 1 back row, excellent. I will detach the XC monster again. Actually, no, I'll detach the Photon Dragon, because say they only have 1 back row, or let's say they have 2 back row. You know what? Yeah, let's say they have 2 back row. Whatever, doesn't matter at this point. You destroyed their back row. Awesome. Now, with the protection of Cyber Dragon Infinity, you'll activate Galaxy 0, targeting your XC monster that you detached in the graveyard. You'll summon him back, and now he has his effects negated. He cannot attack, and if he would be destroyed during the battle phase, you destroy this card instead. But you will again go straight into your extra deck, overlay into Cypher Blade Dragon. 0 will fall off because the monster is no longer technically on the field, and you will then detach your XC material again to pop the 3rd card. This is a very powerful play, and is something that every Galaxy Photon player should know. This will destroy 3 cards on the field, 4 if they have 2 face-up monsters and you for some reason want to use 2 full armors in the extra deck. But yeah, you could go into an additional full armor Photon Dragon here, pop a face-up card again, and then do this. If you're going to be playing an exclusively Go second version, it's worth it to play 3 Dark Ruler No More, and then play 2 full armor and 2 Cypher Blade, so that you can do the Isolde combo, search your Galaxy 0, because you can search it turn 1 or turn 2 off of Photon Lord, and then just make a rank 8. If you can make your, if you want to save your Photon Lord for and another turn, just go Prime Photon Dragon, and then go into full armor, pop face up, Cypher Blade, pop up back row, or pop any card, even your own cards, which I don't know why you would, but you can. And then 0, bring back an Exceed, go full armor, pop a face up, go Cypher Blade, pop another card. You've now completely wiped their whole board, probably, and you have 3,200 plus whatever else you had in your turn. So that's just one way of using the deck. So for the end of the video here, I just wanted to show a compile of replays. These aren't going against any specific, they're not going against anything. This is just an example of, when given free reign, what the deck is able to establish. There are some pretty powerful boards in here, as well as just some mediocre boards. All of these are going first, 5 cards, no disruptions that your opponent would have. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of the raw power that is possible with the deck, and give you an idea of some of the things that it has the capability of doing. So here I summon the Renault, add back the 0. I already had one in hand, so that's good for backup on next turn. Use Carrier to get Orbital at the Soldier. And now I've used Soldier effect to search the Galaxy Knight, which means I will not be able to. I was digging there with the desires to get a second Galaxy Soldier, but it didn't happen. No Infinity on that play. Here I summon the Thrasher and then go into the Galaxy Soldier. That's important because what I do here is, oh no, that's in another one. But I use the Thrasher and the Knight to be able to make his ult. And after doing that, the 0 I'm able to search with it, I can use to get the Knight back and still make a rank 8. So even using Knight as a material to make his ult will not hinder you from being able to make a rank 8. So here you can see I drew the Renault. The Renaud. It really sucks. So instead of going into his old, I make the Starliege Photon Blast Dragon. And the reason I make, or not Photon Blast, excuse me, I use the Galaxion. The reason I did that was because using the Photon Dragon in my hand would have deprived me of a light monster other than Knight to discard for Soldier, and I wanted to keep Knight in hand to make the normal summon. Trade-in is strong, playing multiple Knights is strong, drawing multiple orbitals isn't ideal, but you gotta play 3 of it, that's okay. I'll take it rather than not having any at all. And here I misplayed. I should have been, I could have made Infinity on my 5th summon, but I went for the normal summon instead first, when I could have just gone Vanisher and then made the Infinity and still had the Vanisher for the normal summon of Knight. But nonetheless, it's still a Harbinger Infinity and a lock out the extra deck. So trade in 0. This brings out the Vanisher's ability to summon itself. And because I've used 0 here, I will not be able to use it off of making an Isolde play, which I'm still going to go for, because it's still worth it to be able to do it. And I believe I'm still going to make, let's see, no, this is one of the stronger ones here. This is probably one of the strongest boards the deck has the ability to make, is a 3-negate Appaloosa with Harbinger and Infinity. And I go ahead and Rhoda out the Thrasher from the deck so I don't dead draw it, and have better options for drawing and top decking in that kind of situation. So here I activate Photon Sanctuary to be able to make Union Carrier. Doing that makes me unable to do any sort of Isolde play, but that's okay. I'm just going to go into Infinity, and like I had earlier, the Vanisher on the field for the normal summon of Knight without tributes. Going to go into this and end on the Photon Blast Dragon so that Infinity and the Photon Lord cannot be targeted or destroyed. Photon Lord already has built-in protection from destruction if he has a Photon monster equipped, i.e. Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, but non-targetability is very nice. Thrasher into Soldier, this is the one I was thinking of earlier. So I just go straight into Infinity because Thrasher on field means I can normal summon anyway without my tributes. And then I use the Thrasher and Knight to make a Zold, go into the Renaud, and here I believe I'm going to end on a Harbinger, and then I use the Renaud and the Isolde, which are both warriors, to make Union Carrier, which is another very powerful thing you can do. So you have Harbinger, an Omni Negate, and a Lockout the extra deck, and Harbinger's 4,000 attack too. That's pretty big. So pretty basic stuff on this one here. I think I'm going to be able to make, yeah, this is one of the weaker boards. But even still, a weaker board with an Infinity and a Photon Lord, and then of course the Imperm set with the Search for Galaxy Zero as a backup play is still pretty good. But that does it for all that I have to offer for you guys today. Thank you so much for sticking through all of this. I greatly appreciate it. If you would like to subscribe for more, I really only play this one deck, and I'm really excited to see what sort of card comes out of this create-a-card project. Even if Photon doesn't make it to the end, I'm so happy to be able to play this deck and be able to share what I know about it. So if you have any questions or any thoughts, please share them in the comment section below. I'll be very active on it, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.